So good morning and welcome to the School of Consciousness. Today, what we're going to be talking about is overcoming your fears and learning how to trust your intuition. This is a super important skill for creating the life that you want to have. And so to start with today's session, I want to invite you to connect with something more real than any of your fears. We're going to connect with something that is above and beyond even the concept or the idea of fear itself. And that is simply the present moment. So as we begin today's session, I'll invite you just to close down your eyes. Take a few deep breaths, bringing your awareness and your attention to your body. And just start to feel your body relax as you breathe. Allow your mind to relax as you gently bring your focus to your breath. And when you're breathing, breathe deeply into your belly so that your whole midsection expands on the inhale, opens up as you breathe in. And as you exhale, it softens and contracts. So you enter this kind of flow with your breath, a flow of opening on the inhale and then gently closing on the exhale. And just pay attention to how that feels in your body. See if you can become present to that feeling. And just acknowledge the feeling. Perhaps you feel calm, light, open, relaxed, peaceful. There's no right or wrong answer here. It's personal. But just become aware of how you feel in this moment of present awareness. It's important to have this experience because it confirms to you that you've always got access to this feeling, to this state of being. It's just there, so readily available to you. And actually, if you go even a layer deeper now and move beyond your body, just to the awareness of your body, the awareness of the feelings, the awareness of any thoughts that you're having now, if you can just touch that awareness, and it's not actually a touch, it's more like a sense. If you can just sense that awareness, which is just behind the feeling, just behind the thought, you have an awareness that is receiving my voice right now. See if you can get a sense for that pure awareness. Because In that pure awareness, all of your experience happens. Everything is held within that pure state of awareness. The calm, the lightness, the openness in your body, that feeling is experienced in your awareness. And all of the other feelings you experience are also in your awareness. For example, fear or anxiety or overwhelm or overthinking. All of that is being held in your awareness. If you didn't have your awareness, you couldn't experience those things. And so I said I wanted to help you connect with something more real than your fears. And that's it. It's your awareness. Your awareness is always primary to the experience that you're having. And therefore, it is more real. It's unchanging. It doesn't change. Your awareness is always there. What does change is the experience that you're having. Sometimes you feel calm and light. When I tell you to do some breathing, you're like, wow, this feels good. You've got that guidance. But then other times you might feel anxious, you might feel stressed, you might feel fearful. You might get stuck in the story of your life. And then you're having all kinds of different experiences. But those experiences are always changing. What doesn't change is your awareness of all of that. And now sometimes you're connected to your awareness, like this morning in this nice, calm, peaceful environment that we have here. You're intentionally being aware of what's happening. Well, I hope you're being focused, concentrated. Your attention is here and now. However, you go about your day and your attention, your focus, your concentration gets taken in a million directions and you forget to be aware. You kind of just go on autopilot and you just do the things that you need to do and things just happen. And they don't even really need your awareness. It's just happening. However, when you can pause yourself, pause the story, and connect back to the awareness, it's a much more light, open, calm state to be in. So you can take a few more breaths now in your own time. You can begin to gently move your body and open up your eyes if you want to. You can stay with your eyes closed if you want. Doesn't bother me. Whatever's most relaxing and most comfortable for you. Now, we're talking about overcoming your fears. And this is how to do it. It's to come back into the state of awareness, this pure, clean, transparent state of present awareness, of conscious awareness. All of the fear happens in a story. It's a mental story. And even the fear itself is a feeling, right? So there's a feeling of fear, and there's a thought of the thing that you're scared of doing, whatever that is. For some people, it might be, quitting a job, it might be leaving a relationship, it might be starting a new relationship, it might be starting a business. It could be anything. It could just be going to hang out with a certain group of friends or trying to make new friends. Worrying about what other people think. There's all these different things we can be afraid of. The fear itself is just a feeling, and it's usually linked to a thought, which is about something that's potentially going to happen in the future. Usually, it's not warranted. When fear is warranted, it's because there is a direct threat to you or your life. That's when the fear is valid, right? If there's a direct threat to you or someone close to you, that's when the fear is more valid, right? But when there's no direct threat to you, there's no direct like consequence or yeah, threat, then what's happening with the fear is it's a perceived threat. It's a perceived consequence. So in your mind, you're thinking, if I do this thing or if I do that thing, it's going to have consequences. And so in the present moment, there's actually no threat at all. It's all perceived. It's all in the mind. And so if you want to overcome your fears, you need to realize that you don't need to believe all of the stories in your head. You don't need to get attached to all the thoughts in your head. And actually, there's something a lot more real than the thoughts and even the feelings. Now, this might be hard to kind of grasp because for a lot of us, we really feel like we feel like our thoughts and our feelings are real and they're justified. However, and they are in one sense of, you're having the thought, you're having the feeling, you're having that experience, so therefore it's real to you. However, if you can come back into this state of present awareness, you will see that it's like a cloud that just goes through the sky. It's an experience that you're having. It's a thought that you're having. It's a feeling that you're having. And this too shall pass. It will go. It will come and it will go. And if you can just be present to that, if you can come back into a state of present awareness and just see, okay, see it for what it is, a passing experience. You can kind of let it go like water under the bridge, right? It just flows. It flows through the river of life. And you don't need to grab onto it. You don't need to try and build a dam and make it mean something about who you are or what you are. You can just start to see your thoughts from that place of objectivity. And you can go, okay, cool. Well, that thought is not something that I want to be experiencing, or that fear is not something that I want to be experiencing, or that feeling is not something that I want to be experiencing. So you allow it to be there and you just observe it. And then if you want to keep it, if you want to stay in that story, you can. But you don't need to. You could also just choose a different way. So the proof is in the pudding. At the start of this session, we did a short little meditation and we connected with a state of calm. And there was a little bit of guidance provided by me, but that's not necessary. You can guide yourself, and you can do that again right now just simply by taking a deep breath. Coming back into the present awareness. Another thing that you could do that would be helpful if because sometimes we forget to breathe. We get so caught up that the breathing is something that it's a great tool. Breathing is a great tool. However, sometimes we forget to breathe, and sometimes we like different models, different frameworks. So another thing that you could do is adopt this mantra for your life. I am aware of myself. I am aware of where I am, and I am aware of what I am doing. I'm aware of myself. I'm aware of where I am, and I am aware of what I am doing. You can write that one down if you want. If you didn't catch it, just let me know in the chat box and I'll say it again. But what this does, whether it's the breathing or the mantra, the thought, essentially, a mantra is like a thought vehicle. And the thought vehicle of a mantra takes you to a certain place. It takes you to your own awareness. Same with the breath. The breath can do that as well. It's back to present awareness. Say the mantra, back to present awareness, right? And it's kind of like one way that I'll describe it is there's this invisible layer between you and your world. Now you can't see this layer, but it's kind of there, right? You're here and the world's there. And what happens for most of your life is you're actually out here in the world, in the story, in the reality, in the happenings of life. So what happens for most people, and I'm just using my hands as a bit of a model here, but we've got the world out here, and you can just look around and see, oh yeah, the world is out there. And then you're here, you're seeing the world. But oftentimes people are actually just stuck in the world, and we're just so attached to the world that it's like we're not even separate to it. We just feel like we're in it, we're of it, and we have no control over it. We can't control our fears, we can't control our thoughts, we can't control our experiences. And a lot of people believe that. A lot of people believe, oh, just this is just my life and this is just how it is. When you connect with your present awareness, you create space. Yep. When you connect with awareness, you create space. You come back from the story. And here is the mantra again, if you want to write it down. I am aware of myself. I am aware of where I am. And I am aware of what I am doing. So you've come from this story, you're in the life, you're in the reality, all the things happening. This is who I am. And you take a moment of present awareness and you come back and you create, see, there's now space. We have space between the thing that we're experiencing and ourself, which is the experiencer of the thing. So, for example, if you're in a fearful experience, or you're having some anxiety or overthinking or overwhelm, or you're getting scared about something, you've got a big decision to make and you don't want to make it, or you're scared about, oh, what's the consequences of if I make this? And it's very fear driven. You're in it, you're in the story, and oh my God, there's so much threat to my life. And if I do this thing, it's going to be the end of the world. You're in the story and you're very attached to the story, right? To this narrative that you're playing out in your head. It's usually very ego driven, and it actually thinks that it's keeping you safe. This story thinks that, okay, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna just, that's too scary, and I'm not going to do it because it's more safe just if I don't do that, right? It's fear driven. When you create this space and you learn to trust your intuition, right? This is what happens. When here is ego, connected, attached to reality, attached to your life, attached to yourself. It's very ego driven. Whereas when you can create this space to become more aware of everything, I'm aware of myself, I'm aware of where I am, I'm aware of what I'm doing. You come back on the other side of the invisible layer. You see everything. I see myself, I see my reality. From that place of present awareness, you can be more connected to your intuition, to that inner voice that is trying to guide you. And it will speak to you and it will tell you what to do. Now, the problem that most people have with listening to their intuition is they overthink. And so there's always going to be an initial command, like a primary command from your intuition, a first thought. That'll always be there. And you know that's there because that's always with you in the back of your head telling you, oh, I should do this thing. I should start this business. I should go like be different in my relationships, or I should get away from these people who are really not good for me. There's always that higher self, that intuition, always talking to you, right? And I'm sure you've experienced that. There's like a one part of you that wants to go and live this big, expansive, beautiful life, and your heart is like really wanting that, and it's kind of like talking to you, saying, "Yeah, yeah, I want that." That's your intuition. It's beautiful. It's trying to guide you towards growth and expansion. It's available to you in the present moment. However, it can be scary to trust your intuition, but you've got to choose your fear, right? Because if you're back here in your intuition, you become present, you become aware, and you become conscious. You wake up, I see myself, I see my reality, I see what I'm doing. And I know I should do this thing over here that my intuition's telling me to do. But then you get stuck in the story. Your ego like drags you back into this. Oh no, but I can't do that because XYZ. I can't do that because I haven't done this yet. I can't do that because now's not the right time. I can't do that because I don't have any money. I can't do that because what will they think of me? and you're back in this like ego-driven, fear-driven story that keeps you attached to life. And actually, your mind is trying to keep you safe. It thinks that that is safe, and it perceives this intuition, this higher self, as scary and as it's going to have consequences. But you got to weigh up the consequences, right? Because you're living like this. Do you want to keep living like this? Or do you want this other life, right? Do you want to listen to your ego that wants to keep you small and fear driven? Or do you want to listen to your higher self and your intuition? That part of you that's always there, always trying to guide you in the present moment. So that's the choice that all of us have, right? To trust yourself and to trust your intuition, to trust, right? To trust the present moment, to trust life itself to take care of you. That's a hard thing for most people to do. Instead, we get stuck in our mind, in our ego that wants to keep us playing safe, that wants to keep us playing small. And that's actually, there's a lot of fear and anxiety there as well, because you're not trusting yourself, right? So you've just got to choose which fear you want to go for. When you're staying small, you're actually avoiding your higher self. You're avoiding yourself. You're avoiding trusting your intuition. And that is when anxiety will actually stay. That is when fear will stay. Like it might feel in the moment like it's the safest decision to just be small and just to contract and just to not do the thing. But it's that actually is the thing that perpetuates the anxiety, perpetuates the fear over a long period of time. And I've seen it with a lot of my clients, a lot of my students, the people that I work with. People who have continued anxiety aren't listening to themselves, aren't trusting themselves, aren't moving towards their intuition and their higher self. And so in the moment, it feels safe, but over the long period of time, they're just stuck in the loop. They're stuck in the anxiety loop, the fear loop. The people who decide to trust their intuition, to trust their higher self, to trust their self, trust life, they are the ones that move forward, because over here you're avoiding the intuition, you're avoiding the anxiety, you're avoiding the fear, you're trying to go around it, you're trying to skirt around it. And over here, you're just tackling it head on. You're confronting your fear. You're just going, right? There's someone said, I don't know who exactly it was, but fear is a mile wide and an inch deep. And you've got to push through it. You've got to push through the fear. And if you don't learn how to master your fear, it'll just stay there. It will just be like an emotional experience that you just keep having over and over and over again. And the best way to master your fear is to become present to it, to go, is this actually a threat? Or could I trust here? Right? Do you want to live a fearful life, or do you want to live a trusting life? Right? Essentially, when we're talking about trust, we're talking about belief, we're talking about faith. Do I want to live a life where I am trusting life, I'm believing in life, I am faithful that I'm taken care of, that I have everything that I need to achieve what I want to achieve? I know that you all have that inner knowing inside you, because you're a human and I'm a human, and we all have this knowing, this deep knowing, and it's like back there in the midst of ourself somewhere. There's a deep knowing that says, I can create my reality. I can, be the person that I want to be. And to actually really embody that requires trust, requires belief, requires you to take action in alignment with your intuition. Otherwise, you just live in this fear-driven mentality and you go through life not doing the things that you actually want to do. And then you end up with regrets and you end up comparing yourself to everyone else and going, why are they so far ahead and I haven't done anything that I want to do yet, right? It's because you haven't taken the action. You haven't confronted your fear. You haven't moved through it. You haven't become really present and connected with yourself and your intuition at a deeper level. So that is how to overcome the fear. It's to develop your conscious awareness, develop your presence, and in that presence, you will get given guidance. And this is like spiritual guidance, right? Your intuition, it starts to be loud. It starts to talk to you. And then it's your responsibility to trust that and take action on that. And how do you know if it's your intuition? Because you do know. It's the first primary thought. So what happens is people often have that first thought, but then they have a second thought, and then they start to go, is it the second thought or is it the first thought? And then maybe they have 3 or 4 more thoughts or 5 or 10 more thoughts after the first thought that try to like rationalize and pull you away from the first thought. But the first thought is the thing to go with. It's the thing that you know you need to go with. So it's the first thought. Like that's just as clean as I can say it. It's the first thought. Not the second thought, not the third thought, not the fourth or fifth or sixth or 10th. The first one that comes right after connecting to present awareness. When you connect with present awareness, you connect with all that is, the realness of consciousness. That is all in the present moment. It's all there, this real, beautiful, expansive awareness that everyone has access to. It's all right here, right now. And then the most pure, intentional, intuitive thought comes the moment after you connect with that beautiful present awareness. And if you follow that, that is how you will start to create the reality that you want for yourself. That is how you will overcome your fears. The more that you start following it, the more that you start taking action on it, the more that your fear will just disappear because you won't be in the fear. You'll be in this trusting, believing in yourself energy. And the more that you take steps in that direction, the more that you move away from the other direction. So that's it for today, guys. That's how to overcome your fears. It's how to trust your intuition. It's how to start believing in yourself. And my message for you today, I guess we can finish with this. Ask yourself, what have I been avoiding? What do I know that I need to take action on that I haven't taken action on yet? So 2 questions. 1, what am I avoiding? And 2, what do I know that I need to take action on that I haven't taken action on yet? Those are 2 questions to consider. So just to conclude this call, firstly, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for joining me. The mantra that I shared with you today, this is a powerful one to take into your daily life. I am aware of myself. I am aware of where I am. And I am aware of what I am doing. I'm aware of myself. I'm aware of where I am. I'm aware of what I am doing. And then if you've got your journals handy, you can also write down these 2 questions. What have I been avoiding? And what do I need to take action on that I haven't already taken action on? And don't overthink it. Just do it, right? Come into your beingness, reflect on those questions. And once you've got the answer, go and do it. Trust life will take care of you as you go on your journey. So that's it. Thank you guys. Appreciate you being here. Have a lovely Wednesday. And if you need anything at all, always feel free to either reply to my emails or message me on Instagram. Always happy to have a conversation with you. I appreciate you being here, and I will see you next week. Bye.